Hello everyone, and welcome to Thoughts from the Throne 11. Obviously, one of the biggest stories in the industry right now that everyone's talking about is the TNA, Destination America, Ring of Honor story. Now, a couple weeks ago, the story broke, and it was by Dave Meltzer, who is one of the internet dirt sheet writers who has a huge following. It broke that TNA was being canceled in September. And to me, the first thing that was odd is after this story broke, within 24, 48 hours, there was no solid press release from Destination America or Impact Wrestling, really, for that matter, just absolutely shutting it down. So to me, that says first and foremost that there is some sort of weird tension, weird relationship problems going on, because that wasn't immediately squashed. So a lot of times what happens in the wrestling world is there are threads of truth to get out, and sometimes the story is exaggerated or grown, and who knows what the real story is. I don't work at Destination America. Even though I work for Impact Wrestling, I am strictly a talent. I am not in the office. I am not privy to that type of information. So all the TNA officials have assured the TNA talent that everything's going to be okay. They've just said continue to do what you guys are doing. As you know, if you've been watching TNA the last 7-8 months, at least through 2015, the end of 2014, we've been kicking ass. The TNA talent has been killing it week in and week out on the show, and also the creative team's been doing a good job. Everybody's had a really great group effort. If we continue to do that, we're going to be fine as far as Destination America goes. And that's all I can do right now. That's all I can do is invest my faith in the things that Dixie and Big and everyone else in the office has told us. And as an employee, as a TNA employee, even though I'm an independent contractor, I am with TNA and I am underneath the contract until February of 2016. So during that time, I am here to represent TNA, and I am here to give my all to help grow the TNA brand, help make Impact Wrestling great. And I will stand on the front of the ship, and I will wave the TNA flag, and I will say full speed ahead, because that is the deal I made with them. I pride myself in 2015 on being a model employee. 2010, when I asked for my release from WWE, I was at a point in my life where I was in a dark place. I was injured. I was hurt. I just need to go away for a year and heal mentally, physically, emotionally, all the way around. I was a shitty employee at the end of my WWE run. I need to go away and take time off. I didn't do that. Once I did, and I got away from the wrestling bubble for a little while, and I really got a good grasp of who Matt Hardy is, I discovered who I am, and I know the things I need to do to take care of myself in my own life and take care of myself as I age as a professional wrestler. I know how I have to train, how I have to sleep. I know how limited I have to keep my schedule. I know what to do to take care of myself. So I pride myself on being a model employee. And you could ask anyone at Impact Wrestling, I am. I'm the best damn employee you'll find anywhere. I worked with Ring of Honor a couple of years prior. I was a great employee for them. Any regional territory I go to, I pride myself on being a great employee. And I'll continue to do so. So they've told me everything's going to be cool with TNA. And that's how I'm going to perform. I'm going full speed ahead. I want all the wrestling fans to stand up. I want you to support TNA, and I want to try and make this thing great. I want to try and make this thing work. The wrestling industry needs promotions. It needs places that have television for all the young talent that are entering the industry right now. And I want to help TNA be a destination where guys can come, learn, make money, and make a living and feed their families. The other big story going on, obviously, is that Ring of Honor is joining Impact Wrestling on Wednesday night, starting June 3rd, on Destination America. Now, a lot of people ask me how I felt about that. Well, obviously, I have quite the history with Ring of Honor. I loved my time at Ring of Honor, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I love Ring of Honor. I didn't want to leave and stop working for Ring of Honor when I started with Impact Wrestling, but that unfortunately wasn't the circumstances. I was kind of forced to. It's been nice being with Jeff, but my time in ROH I absolutely loved. They have a great roster. They have a lot of talent, and I think Hunter, who is the booker there, Delirious, I think he has an amazing mind. I think he utilizes and gets the most out of talent as much as any other booker in the industry right now. So I applaud him when it comes to that. I think the Ring of Honor team is very motivated, and I think them coming to Destination America, being a lead-in for Impact Wrestling, could be a huge positive and a huge plus for the wrestling business. I think it's time for both companies to put their egos aside, and considering we're competition, we're also on the same team because we both play on Destination America. And considering both shows perform on Destination America, can you imagine how impactful it could be to do cross-promotion? We don't need to go crazy with it. We just need to do smart things with it. We need to be very wise about it, how exciting that is. Because one of the things that wrestling fans complain about more than anything else, because there's so much information that is accessible in this day and age, is predictability in wrestling. There are so many great unpredictable combinations and stories and angles and programs we could do. So I think it is potentially a huge positive. So what I want to do is I want Ring of Honor to do great. I want the Ring of Honor audience to come and stick around for TNA Impact Wrestling. I want the Impact Wrestling audience to continue to grow. I want Impact Wrestling to still live on Destination America for a long, long time. And I hope their audience checks out Ring of Honor. And I hope we can continue to work together to build a bigger audience for both brands. A couple things I was going to add to this. As I spoke earlier, talked about being a model employee. One thing I would like to say to all the other wrestlers that are in the industry, and I'm sure anyone from Dixie Carter to Vince McMahon to Joe Koff to the bookers in these same promotions, would ask the wrestlers to do this. When you work for someone, it's okay to discuss your perspective or your opinions on different stories or angles or what's going on, but to give away information that shouldn't be privy to internet writers is something we shouldn't do. There's really no benefit to it, and all it does is hurt the brand. It also gives away a lot of the surprises and the unpredictability that's around. It shouldn't be done. When we're on a conference call and it's supposed to just be the talent in the office, that information needs to stay in that circle. And I don't know why people would really go out of that now. I guess maybe they want to, befriend people, so hopefully they put them over, whatever, but it's only a short-term gain. What I am saying, if you're in that circle and you make it to a promotion that has television, keep that information just privy. Keep it within the inner circle. That is my recommendation. That's what you need to do. That's the best case scenario, always. The other thing I was going to say is when people jump on internet wrestling reporters, that are dirt sheet writers, whatever you want to call them, when you jump on them, this is the deal. You can't give them that information if they want to know that. If they're writing about things that piss you off because of stuff you've done bad, whatever, that's ultimately your fault. You can't give them things to write about. In 2011, when I was making mistakes, when I was fucking up and they were writing about me, it wasn't their fault, it was my fault. And you have to be able to look in the mirror and understand those guys are just trying to make a living. They're trying to feed their family as well. Sure, it might not be conducive to our occupation and our jobs, but it's what they do. Don't blame them for the things they write, because ultimately we don't need to make these mistakes. We don't need to give them things to write about. They're human beings much like anyone else. A lot of people are judgmental of wrestlers who make their living because they're professional wrestlers. Don't be judgmental of these guys as well. And that's the deal. You have to learn how to keep a relationship with those guys. You have to stay professional. If you're in the wrestling business, take care of the wrestling business. This Saturday, I'm going to be in the Panhandle of Florida for SWA, Southern Wrestling Alliance. I'm wrestling Paul Jourdain. It's going to be a great night. If you get a chance, come check it out. Go to my YouTube channel. Well, you're here already. Go to my YouTube channel and watch the video I did. I break a rap down to Paul Jourdain. I face him on May 30th. This is my last show, too, I'm doing before I take off and prepare for the birth of my son. Very excited about that. My wife is very uncomfortable, and she's been a warrior for these 9 months, and it won't be long now. In the next couple of months, could be actually in the next few days, I will have my first son, and I'm very, very excited. And a lot of you out there online and in life have been so sweet and so great to me and so complimentary about that, and I'm very excited to be a dad. And I should have a son before the first Father's Day. How cool is that? Anyway, you guys be well. This is Matt Hardy. These are my personal opinions, and this is Thoughts from the Throne.
Keep coming back. I got a family to feed.
Get with it, boy.